So right now we created one method with protector and abstract. Save this file. Now can you go to your paper book? You should see again a compile time error. If you go there, you should see something. Just save this file. A paper book file. Can you save it? Yeah, if you see now, there's one error that it should implement that inherited or unimplemented method. So that is the reason. So whenever you have such kind of methods, we are basically giving the logic in the respective classes. So if you have like whatever you do in your interface, same thing is happening in your abstract class, but through your inheritance concept. So now can you click on that add unimplemented methods? So if you see there is nothing here, you don't have any business logic, only that method will have a definition structure instead of declaration structure. Now in this, you can just have a sysout and just print it as paper book. Five minutes, guys, I'll wrap it up soon. Just to understand how we can create our own factory pattern. Okay, save this. Yeah, and now the same way you copy the entire structure and paste it in your digital book and replace it with the actual class.
Digital book.
Okay. Yeah. And instead of PB, pass it DB. And this is how you can have your digital book.
Yeah.
Now, so we are good with all these things. Now go to your book factory now. What happened?
This Zoom controls are coming.
Okay, okay. Now, anyway, you have your singleton pattern driver, right? You save this file, book factory, you save this file and go to your singleton driver class, or you can go to factory pattern. You already have it, right? Go to that. Within the main method, let's create book factory dot.
I will comment on these two lines.
Okay. Yeah, within that, have book factory. Control space, we will get that immediately. Now create, just give dot, book factory dot. Okay. Okay. Can you go to your book factory once? We need to do one more step there. We didn't give the return type for the build book, right? So let's make it as static and public.
Return type is book, right?
Yeah. No, you need to have the return type, right? So we are basically creating an object. So whenever you're going with factory pattern, as you have for singleton, your return type as static method, we are also having it as a static method. Only thing what we're doing is we are identifying the object type and then creating the object in the line number 9 and line number 12. So before that, we are not creating the object anywhere. So for that purpose only, we were creating the method as static. Now let's go to the factory pattern. And now if you give control space, or just remove the dot, yeah, you should be able to see the build book, right? So now give dot build book. And you can pass that book type dot PB and semicolon. And can we execute it? Anyway, we have written somewhere this, right? Just out.
Yeah. In paper book.
Only, I think it's only in print book, right? Not in the others. Okay, now what you do is after build book, like before semicolon, can you call the method dot print book after build book, like before semicolon in the line number 9, before semicolon. Yeah, give dot and print book method. You have it right below. Yeah, just give it. Now remove one more semicolon and then execute it. Okay, so what is the advantage of going with this factory pattern? First thing is your object creation is happening based on the type. We are evaluating the type since we are predefined types, right? This is not runtime types, it's a predefined types. So based on that predefined types, we are evaluating it and then printing the object. And then whoever wants to build that particular object type has to have an access. So basically your object, build book is something which is a static method. The second thing is only if you have the relevant object type, you will be able to print the book. Now let's try the same line number 9. Instead of book type PB, pass some value. No? Maybe you just give null.
This was fine, right? This is not in the enum.
There's no SB, right? So just pass null.
Yeah.
It's an enum, right? You just pass null. No,
Book
remove
type
book
dot
type
null.
also. Remove book type also. Just give null. And now execute. You'll get an exception because we haven't handled the null condition. So you'll get a null pointer exception. So if we have handled null, we would have not got this error. So let's do that quickly. Go to your book factory, right? Yeah, here in the switch, before going to switch type, we'll have one condition in after line number 6. If type not equal to null. If type not equal to this exclamation and equal to null. And within that block, have your complete switch block. Okay, save it and now try to run again.
We won't get any output, right? In this
Yeah,
case.
we won't get any input. We won't get any exception as well because you handled your null check. What happened? Java 9 cannot invoke print book because you just remove
Okay, this function.
because the object is null. Just have that build book alone. Yeah. So in your output, there's nothing got printed because it is not invoked itself. So why do we go for factory pattern? If you are pretty sure your class having only these type of data and you wanted to create it on runtime, like however which object you want, you can create it on runtime based on user perspective. Then we can go ahead with this particular pattern way to create your objects. And this is in real time, we are using it in our wrapper classes. So are we sure like how actually the wrapper class is giving us the object creation part? Like we are not creating as new integer, right? We are giving either like integer, a new integer, with that you are passing some value. So now here in the line number 6, like after that, maybe you can just again type integer, some reference equal to. New integer. And give control space, don't type completely. Yeah, if you see now, you will have an overloaded constructor. Either you can accept int or as a string and not a default constructor. The same way you did it in your paper book and the digital book, where you didn't have any, though you had the default constructor, in your actual book class, you were having a parameterized constructor, which was accepting that input, and post that we are creating the object. The same way in your integer class, you can either give us a normal primitive value or as a string value. So these are the two ways you can create your integer object. How did you create it in your paper book, right? The same way you can do it. So after that, to access those relevant methods, if you see in the line number 6, we were accessing only the static methods, integer.parseInt or integer.value of. Now, instead of new integer, can you type integer.value of? Dot value. So this is again a just click value of method, Kilba. Just give some value. And now go into that value of method. So if you see that method is again static, internally they have given some kind of logic in that particular piece of code, right? So this is the way your factory pattern works. So singleton pattern is basically restricting object creation only for one time. And your factory pattern is, instead of having like paper book equal to new paper book created multiple times and getting it created, you're creating your object on runtime based on the parameter they are passing it to you. So this is one way you can create your factory pattern. So basically your factory is an umbrella, And within that umbrella, you can have any number of objects or types you wanted to have, and post that will create the references on the invocation time. So your wrapper classes also follows the similar structure. And we see how we can do this type of casting and everything in detail in tomorrow class. And so that we'll be pretty good on the understanding of wrapper classes better way. So if you have any questions here, please note it down. And also I request you to get into this dot class files of integer, float, and also number, and see how actually the factory pattern is working and how you're invoking it. So just have a look. And if you have any questions, please ask me tomorrow. Okay, so this particular factory pattern you will be using when you're connecting to a JDBC driver connection. When you come to that particular API, you'll have a better idea on the real-time using. Right now, we are just using on an object-oriented perspective. In real time, in your JDBC connection, you'll get to know how to create your factory pattern usage in a better way, both singleton and factory pattern. So if you don't have questions, we can wrap for the day. Janaki, Kiruba, Chaitanya, you have any questions for the day?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, yeah. So just have a look. I'll update the notes for last week and this week, and update in the study materials by this week. So you should be able to get the other inputs for the whatever you have learned so far. I'll keep you updated once that is done. And yeah, for the assignments, you can go ahead. And like you guys tried executing any programs in HackerRank?
Yeah, I tried few.
Okay, and Janaki?
I started Sneha, but it to complete it.
Yeah, no, like it's not a need like you need to complete it, but if you start, at least if you practice, and if you have any questions on that, we can discuss. So tomorrow we'll be working on one program. Whoever can share their screen, and we'll be looking on the HackerRank program, one program. And the truth table for and or, were you able to try that in your systems locally, which was given on the assignment day? Like, were you able to try that?
No, haven't tried it yet.
Okay, maybe we can do that tomorrow, and also one HackerRank program, and we'll complete the wrapper classes concept tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Kilba. Thanks, Jen.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.